What's up, guys? Welcome to the Peer Review Podcast. My name is Caleb Davis, and man, it's been a minute. I am returning from this long overdue 2 month hiatus. Uh, Things have kind of slowed down my senior year. I have more time, and I can put a little bit more energy and focus into this. And yeah, I'm getting ready to graduate, getting ready to relocate. And just trying to finish out my senior semester, and yeah, just make the most of everything. Everything's flying by, but yeah, with that being said, before we dive in, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And also follow me on X at CalebCD to stay up to date with the channel and everything related to basketball hoops and just everything going on in the NBA space. So before I sat down and started compiling everything, I was gonna talk about a couple games yesterday from Sunday slate. I kind of wanted to touch on the Nuggets versus the Rockets, but that game wasn't super competitive. And then I also wanted to talk about the Timberwolves, and I'm blanking on who they played, but I know that game was a blowout as well. So the one game we're really going to focus on is the Clippers and Warriors. I got to watch that through and through. It's actually dog sitting during the game, so was dealing with that happily. But yeah, that game it felt like a playoff basketball game, to say the least. You had Kawhi Leonard hooping, you had James Harden hooping, you had Curry hooping, you had Jimmy Butler hooping, you had Draymond hooping, you had Zubac hooping. Everybody on both sides pulled their weight, and it was a fun and exciting game. It went to overtime. It almost had the potential to go to a double OT. Had some things shaken out differently for the Warriors, but yeah, I'm just gonna get started. Before I touch on that game, I just think the parity in the West has been insane for the past decade, but well, not decade, past few years, but really as of late, teams are just so good. Just to put it in perspective, there was 5 teams that finished with 50 plus wins in the West, and that doesn't happen super often. There's just so much talent, and all of the potential matchups that you could see out of the West. If you look at how the breakout of the bracket kind of turned out based on seeding, no series is just, you know, I guess you can't just say the Mavericks are. I wouldn't use them as an example actually, but the Clippers versus Nuggets. You can't just say the Nuggets are gonna win. The Clippers are gonna win. Every team has an argument. Every team has a fighting chance, and I think the NBA is at its best when it's like this. When the champion isn't just clear cut out, and you know who it is at the beginning of the season. And it's just been exciting to watch. I'm so excited to watch all these matchups. But yeah, getting started with the Warriors versus Clippers. I think this game played out just right. In my estimation, I didn't want the Warriors to win solely because I didn't want them to end up as a 6th seed and end up going against the Lakers in the first round. I think it would just be doing really the playoffs a disservice if you have Brown and Curry going at each other in the first round and potentially eliminating one another. So I'm kind of like, if the Warriors are going to lose to the Grizzlies and then lose again or something and get knocked out the play-in, okay, I'm not going to be as happy. But if things work out how they should and they go beat the Grizzlies and face the Rockets and are able to beat them and then see the Lakers in the second round, it's just a better TV product in my opinion, and just a more enticing series and more enticing semifinals. But as for this game, like I said, things played out right in my estimation. The game felt like a playoff game. You had playoff rotations. Even the Warriors ended up not playing Kuminga at all, and I guess that is kind of foreshadowing for how they're going to approach the playoffs as things continue to progress. I was a little surprised by that, but not entirely, just because the Warriors, you hear you see the lineup numbers and data numbers, and when Kuminga's in the lineup, they haven't been as good. They haven't played as good. It's just it is what it is. They have a forward now who actually plays forward, small forward, how he's supposed to. Kuminga's more of a power forward, and in their offense, and he's also a non-shooting threat. So in their offense, it gets a little clunky. I get it. I don't think he'll be fully benched in the playoffs, so I don't think that is gonna be the case. But yeah, you saw that kind of on both sides. It shrunk the rotations. But the biggest thing last night was you just saw it in the effort. And on defense and just how each possession kind of dwindled down. Like every possession was going down to the shot clock. And like I don't know, it was just a great game. Like two top 10 defenses, and it was very evident. The Clippers kind of started the game pretty well, and then towards the end of the first, Curry like picked up 2 fouls, so he was in foul trouble, had to sit. And the Warriors just went on this insane, I think it was 23-8 run where just all defense, like hellacious defense. Like they completely blitzed the Clippers and expanded from like the end of the first quarter all the way to like the beginning portion of the second, but they just went on this insane defensive run with Jimmy and Draymond and Gary Payton out there, and they were shrinking the floor. They were applying ball pressure. They were cutting off passing lanes. So many steals. Like Norman Powell, he got ripped just dribbling the ball up court, half court. He's just in a live ball set, just ripped. He drove, gets stripped again. Another like the Warriors are off on the fast break, and it was just it kind of felt like the Warriors had the Clippers shook a little bit, and like this game wasn't going to be super competitive, but Clippers, they called a timeout. They talked it over. They come back out. Kawhi has a three. It kind of evens the tension, and they kind of make their way back in the game. Clippers have been one of the hottest teams since All-Star break, and it's not surprising that they battled back. I'm going to be completely honest. They've just been a very, very, very solid team. And especially if you think like they just hit 50 wins. Kawhi played, 37 games this year? Yeah, that was 82. So they played 45 games without Kawhi, and they still managed to win 50 wins. Like that's awesome for them. But Kawhi especially has looked so good, and starting to look healthy and coming back into form, and at a perfect time in the season. Like you couldn't ask for your guys to start heating up at a better point in the season. Like it's right before the playoffs. You got a week. They won this game. Now they can rest, which is definitely going to be good for all of like the older stars, especially on that team. But Harden and Zubac doing damage, running pick and rolls all game. Zubac is just bigger than everybody that the Warriors were playing. So, Harden would drive and Draymond he'd be his first man, and Draymond would have to step up, and boom, you got a 2-on-1, and Harden just kept dumping it off to Zubac, or Norman Powell doing the same, or Harden throw up a floater and Zubac's bigger than just get the rebound, or just throw it up there. It's easy finishes for him, and they just looked really good, and this was an exciting game. Like I said, the Warriors felt like they were in control for a lot of this game. Curry, especially in the fourth, once the Clippers started pulling away, Curry was like, nah, I'm not going for none of that. Hitting three after three. He had 18 in the fourth. Him and Kawhi were just going shot for shot. But it kind of felt like, I know it's not playoff time, but it kind of reminds me of like when the Warriors went down 0-2 against the Celtics, and Curry just put on his cape and just started scoring and scoring and scoring. And I thought that's what was going to happen. He was going to carry them. They were going to win this game. And he hit a three late to like tie the game, and the crowd went crazy, and the Clippers called a timeout. And I'm like, yeah, like in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, the Warriors are going to win this game. Like Curry's going to do it. Nobody can guard him out there. And he also finally has a partner in crime. For the past few years with this iteration of the Warriors, they haven't really had that like second go-to scoring guy. Like Jimmy Butler was out there. He gave you 30 and 9. And he was hooping. And as to be expected, like I've been a Jimmy guy since he was with the Heat. Like I know what he's capable of, especially when the postseason comes around. He got hurt towards the end of overtime. And I'm hoping that's not something that is super serious. Because if it is, that sucks. This is like 3 years in a row where like he gets hurt that last game of the season going into the play, which is just horrible luck. But yeah, hopefully he's not too banged up. Hopefully it was just like a stinger. But yeah, they go to OT after Kawhi. He gets a ISO on Draymond. He misses the shot. They go to OT. OT was all Harden. He had 2 big threes to put them up and kind of distance themselves from the Warriors. He was 5 for 8 from threes on the night. Like he was just hooping. And kind of OT, the Warriors, they missed a lot of layups. That was a big thing. They weren't finishing super well, and even like Curry had a layup, pretty open one it was a quick pass from Draymond. I forget who he had on him. I think it was, I want to say Chris Dunn, but he kind of felt Chris Dunn like applying ball pressure from behind and so he just smoked the layup. And then the kind of cherry on top at the end of the game was Draymond. He kind of had a layup. It was damn near wide open, but he tried to. I don't know if he was trying to like neutralize. I don't know if it was Kawhi behind him or Zubac, but he was trying to I don't know if he was trying to, probably both, but trying to draw the foul. but also like neutralized the shot blocker, so he didn't get like pinned, but he just smoked the layup, and then that was kind of game from there, which was rough because Draymond was having a really good game. He had a bunch of super big threes, but that's how the cookie crumbled. The Clippers won the game. They get to rest. The Warriors have to go and quick turnaround, ramp back up for Tuesday against the Grizzlies, which is going to be a super, super exciting, another playoff feel like type games. It is the postseason at this point, and the Warriors and Grizzlies have had their rivalry for a couple years now, so exciting to see that come back to light. And yeah, it's just going to be a super fun game. As for this game in the series, like I'm going to be covering the playoffs a lot more. I'm just gonna be covering a lot more, be posting a lot more. My goal is to have, well, I'm not sure how I'm gonna break them up, but to have kind of matchup breakdowns for the entire 1 through 8 seedings in both conferences. Probably more focused on like the higher seedings. The more competitive matchups. Like I'm probably not gonna like, I don't know. Let's say the Heat, when the Heat, they're gonna beat the Bulls, but they come out of the play-in and they play the Celtics. Like that series is not something it's really worth me covering, or like those, if the Thunder play the Mavs or something, like I don't really think that we know how that's going to turn out. But yeah, I'm going to be posting videos all week, strengths, weaknesses, giving my predictions, how I think the series will go, how many games, who's going to win it all. And just to wrap up, I want to make it clear, I think the champion's coming out of the West this year. If it's not the Thunder, it's going to be the Lakers, in my opinion. Especially if Jaylen Brown's banged up the way he is, like obviously he has time to get healthy with the rest between playoff games, but my faith is on the West this year, and it's gonna be a bloodbath getting through the West, like all those matchups, especially the Western Conference Finals. But I got faith in those two teams. But that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Peer Review Podcast. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on playoff matchups in the comments. Player matchups, who's coming out of each conferences, anything you think I missed, anything you disagree with, let me know. But this is the Peer Review, signing off.